That is you, that's right. Hey friends, well my name is Becca, this is New Day Family Farm, and we are starting out the video in the editing room rather than outside because I got in a new microphone that is meant to block wind noise, but it was just too windy this morning, and so unfortunately I just had to scrap, excuse me sir, I just had to scrap that whole intro, and so instead we're gonna have a nice inside intro with my helpers here in front of the computer. So today we have a project for you. I needed to add a water heater to our rabbits' watering system to make sure that their water did not freeze over the winter, because today we're getting a really good freeze overnight, and so I need to make sure their water does not turn into a solid ice block. So thank you guys for joining me. Come take a look before my helper takes my camera away. So right now we have a really cool, well, at least I think it's really cool, setup for our rabbits for their water. So we have our entire colony split, and we have a fence running down the middle of our colony. And then we have a water bowl on each side, obviously, so that everybody has nice fresh water. Both of those water bowls are connected to one 55-gallon barrel, which is a ton of water for rabbits. That's months of water for these rabbits. And I have loved everything about this setup. It has been awesome. The only issue is when it's freezing weather, that whole line tries to freeze. And obviously the water, even in the barrel, in the bowls, everything tries to freeze. So what we're gonna plan to do is I've got a really, really heavy duty aquarium water heater, one set for like 250 gallon aquarium. So this is a heavy duty water heater, and it's gonna live in our barrel, and then hopefully that's gonna keep everything nice and toasty warm. We'll come back later if it doesn't work 100% and probably insulate those hoses. The only reason I didn't want to do that yet is I know these bunnies are going to try to chew on it, and I don't want them chewing on whatever that foam stuff is. That's not good for their intestines. That's a recipe for disaster. So we're going to hold off on that if we can at all. And then hopefully this water heater will be all we need to keep bunnies having water all through the winter. What do you think about the new project? Huh? Oh my goodness, sir. You are the problem today, right? Ugh. Yuck. Dude. You're so gross. I love you, but you're disgusting. Cal, you're so gross. It smells so bad over here now. To have bucks is a stinky, stinky adventure. I'm very ready for rut to be over because it smells terrible over here now. Oh well, anyway, first step on our project is I need to get these barrels switched out. I have an old barrel that has like a solid top. I'll show you guys. So our old barrel has this solid top. This is awesome all of the time for preventing algae growth or anything like that, but it's also really easy to fill. I can check the water level just by looking. It's really, really great. But I need to run a cord down into this, and that's really not gonna work with this solid top at all. So I have a different barrel we're gonna switch out, maybe just for the winter, maybe permanently, who knows? We'll see how I feel in the spring. And then I have this new barrel that has these really cool, I think they're called bung holes, where you can unscrew a cap and now you have a hole in your barrel. So way, way useful for this project. Let's go get them switched out. All right, barrels are switched out. I'm gonna go ahead and start filling this barrel up because I know goats and they're totally going to try to move that barrel and push it over if they can, unless it's full of water and super heavy. So let's get the hose attached, get that thing filled up. start running our extension cord because it has to come from inside the barn. We're gonna move in there, run it, come out here, add our heater in, then we'll be done. I always expect problems. Every project has more problems than expected. So somewhere in there, there'll be a problem. Okay, so this is my milking area, or my old milking area from the barn. I don't really milk in here anymore. It's mostly for hoof trimming, giving medicine, stuff like that. But this area, you can see right here, I have a plug where I know I can tie in. And so I'm gonna have to run my extension cord up and over the rafters here, up through that little gap in the ceiling, and then that'll take me to like the wall of the rabbit pen is right there. So I'm suddenly realizing I need to be able to aim appropriately, because if I am in the wrong spot, I'm not gonna know where to go. So I gotta go count how many beams to figure out where I'm supposed to run this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9. 9 from the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I'm so glad I counted, because it is way farther over than I thought it was going to be. So I thought we would be like here-ish. We actually need to be more like over here. So that's why we check things, right? Let's prevent the problems before they occur. If I'd thrown it over in the wrong spot, I would have been kicking myself. Let's do it in the right spot instead. So I recognize that I live in Texas, where it is like, it's pretty warm, you guys. And we have a handful of freezing days. Typically in February, we get like a really good freeze. But outside of that, it's not that cold. We don't really freeze, and we don't freeze for long. We've had in years past like a full week of freezing temperatures where we didn't get above freezing, and like the state shut down because we can't function. It was rough. And so I know that there are some of you guys who live in places where, November through April, it's freezing. And so I have major props for you, first of all, and I have no idea how you function that way. That sounds insane. How do you give your animals water? Is that like back-breaking labor multiple times a day, every day? I don't know. How do you do that? That sounds crazy. So I feel very blessed that I can throw a little aquarium heater in and call it good. I think I hear the sound of running water. I think I hear running water, which means we are overflowing. So let's go stop the hose. Yep. You guys know me. You know that I'm terrible at stopping the hose at the right time. Oh, goodness. Whoops. Well, the barrel's full now. Oh, gosh. Okay, now that part was not my doing. That's nature. This is my doing. All right, take 2. Now let's get this extension cord set up. This feels very unlikely that I will hit it without a great deal of effort, but we are gonna try, because it's worth it to try rather than having to go get the humongous ladder. There it is. Technically, I was 1 off from where I wanted to be, but I am very happy with that. No! Well, all right, we can do this. I think I'm gonna be able to grab that from the other side. Let's go check. I do believe I said there would be a problem. The problem is I don't want to carry the ladder. That's the problem. Let's try this again. And this time I even got it in the hole that I wanted. Now let's see if I can keep it there. I hope you guys can just laugh along with me because I find this hilarious. It's not gonna work. All right, fine. I'll go get the ladder. I'm sad about it though. All right, ladder in hand. I hate admitting defeat, but you know, in hindsight, like this was the smart thing to do because I totally need this ladder to, you know, wrap my cord and stuff. But sometimes we just don't want to give up on things. All right, so now that we're ready to do this, you know, the smart way, we are going to go ahead and install the heater in here first. Then we'll just run our cord to the plug and be able to tie up any excess, you know, the smart way. All right, so here's the heater that I bought. Not a sponsor. Honestly, it was the best one at a reasonable price with good reviews that I could find on Amazon. So that's how I picked this one. I will put the link down in the description just in case you want one for your farm. So this thermometer has a heat dial and I'm turning it all the way down to the lowest setting. The reality is I doubt it's going to be able to maintain even that temperature. And I don't want it to burn itself out, you know, trying to hit 93 degrees. That's just not going to happen out here. And then here's a cool trick I learned from my dad. When you plug something in and you don't want to risk it getting unplugged, you can kind of tie the cords together in a knot. And then if the cords get pulled on, they will stay knotted together rather than getting pulled apart and, you know, then having issues. So hopefully this will be secure enough that it'll stay for us. I am realizing I would really, really love if I could get this cord behind these boards, just because then the connection point is a lot more protected from the elements. So I'm gonna weave my cord in through here. That way this will be a little bit better protected. Guess what I need in order to, you know, get up there and feed the cord through? The ladder, you guys. I need to remember that in the future, it is sometimes easier just to start with the right tools rather than trying to take the shortcut. The shortcut takes longer. It does, guys. It really does. And one day I will listen to my own advice, but apparently I didn't today. All right, I'm really happy with that. I've got it tied so it should not come apart. I've got high enough the rabbits cannot reach it. I've got it tucked in enough that the goats should not be able to mess with it. Now we're gonna run the extension cord up and over into the barn, get it plugged in, then we're done. I told you there would be a problem. I was the problem though. It was me. That was the problem, is me not wanting to get a ladder. That was the problem. Am I the only one who does that? Who thinks they're making a shortcut and ends up just instead making the whole project worse for themselves than it ever was before if you just done it right the first time? I hope I'm not the only one. I mean, help me out, guys. Please tell me I'm not the only one. I mean, wow, wasn't that a whole lot easier using the ladder than throwing the extension cord over? I mean, what would I have even done right here? I had no plan. Just get the ladder, you guys. Just get the ladder. We made it. Finally. Now let's go make sure that the thermometer is actually on so that we can be done with this. All right, moment of truth. Yay, the light is on. It is really nice and warm. Excellent. I'm so glad, you guys, because I was ready to be done with the projects. So I'm gonna store this somewhere safe because come next spring, I'm gonna wanna be able to cap it up again. I love that we are gonna be able to provide heated water for the rabbits from now on though. I know that they're gonna be really happy this winter from it. Now, of course, before we go, I have to share with you guys some of the babies. So right now it's really cool. We have 3 different litters currently in the colony. We have our oldest litter, which is honestly butcher size. I'm just letting him go another week or so. We have another litter after that have just been weaned a few weeks ago. And then we have the new ones who are, I think, almost 2 weeks old now. And they're adorable, you guys. So I have to brag on Sage, the super great rabbit mama, one more time, because she knew as these kits got older that they needed to move from their old den into a new one. So come take a look at this. So Sage initially had them in this first box. She has it super built up with dirt. It is super warm and cozy in there, and she keeps it clogged up all the time. Now she moved them over to the other pen though, because she wants to keep them still super warm. She still keeps that, the hole clogged up, but there's a lot less dirt in it. She hasn't filled it in. And so the babies have a little more room to roam. And she's also found she likes to move them from one box to the other when they start getting mobile, because what I was finding, and apparently what Sage was finding, is that the first box with all the dirt in it, the babies were sometimes, I don't know, rolling out and they couldn't get back in. So once they start moving, Sage has learned she needs to move them to the other box where it's a little bit dug down. They would have to go up to get out of the hole. And so they're a lot safer. You guys, this rabbit mama is smart. Oh, sweet babies. Hi, you guys. Oh my goodness, you are so precious. I know it's cold out here. I won't keep you. I won't keep you. Well, I hope that you guys can learn a little bit from my mistakes today. And, next time, just get the ladder. Just bring the ladder. It's so much easier to do projects when you have the right tools and you just, set it up right from the get-go. Learn from my mistakes and do it right the first time. Especially when we're talking about welfare of these animals, we want everything to be in their best interest. And so we really ought not be cutting corners anyway. The reality of the situation is today, my project probably took 3 times as long just because I was wasting time and not getting the ladder. So at least, if nothing else, maybe I've learned my lesson. But thank you guys for coming along with me as I got to learn my lesson the hard way. I just so appreciate you guys watching and commenting and just enjoying our farm. That's the whole reason we share these videos, is we want to just share the joy of what it's like to live on a farm, to raise animals in a humane way, and just to really enjoy God's creation. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.